Hey everyone, Anders here with another video. Today we're going to talk about this week's AION 2 patch notes and go over what exactly has changed. The game is currently under maintenance again as I make this video because of some major issues, including some problems with Cleric skills. I don't have my Cleric anymore, so I can't show you these, but essentially Light of Regeneration, which is their Q base skill, is a heal over time buffing skill that you always have up. Usually you add a defense and attack trait on top of it, and it's just a nice buff for your party. This patch broke that skill so that it did not affect your party members, which as a cleric is not really something you want. The chain skill, Light of Healing, seems to have been working fine, so active healing shouldn't have been affected much, but it's still a maintenance-worthy bug that needed to get fixed. Salvation is a cleric stigma that had the ability to nullify all damage and prevent CC for 5 seconds. Extremely powerful skill for both PvE and PvP. However, this does not work for some boss attacks as it says on the tooltip, mainly like Raid White Tank Buster type damage or wipe mechanics. Gladiator also has a stigma called Tenaciousness, which pretty much does the same thing, immune to damage and status effects for 5 seconds. Now, according to the notes, the invincibility effect of the Cleric stigma Salvation has been modified so that it does not ignore the boss's continuous damage effect in the Sanctuary. This also applies to Gladiator's Tenaciousness skill. The notes say Perseverance, but I think it's called Tenaciousness in-game. Sanctuary is an endgame content, and this sounds to me like players figured out that Cleric Salvation and Gladiator's Tenaciousness was negating a boss attack that should not have been negated under these circumstances. They also made some changes to PvE ranking rewards and Battlefield and Arena rewards with this new maintenance. Buffs from Nightmare, Conquest, Ascension Trials, and Transcendence rankings will no longer apply in Sanctuary. Buff icons are also no longer displayed at the top of the quick slots and can now be checked in the effect information window. This should be the ranking buffs only and not your ability buffs. Those will still show on top of your quick slots. They just have this effect window button you can toggle to see all the current buffs in combat. Weekly maximum battlefield victory rewards have been changed to 10 wins, and rewards have also increased to 2,000 Abyss points. Battlefield is the 8v8 arena that they're trying to push people to do. Not many people are doing it because the rewards are not worth it, so they're hoping with these changes it entices people to do the mode more often. Those were the emergency maintenance changes. As for the actual patch earlier today, a new combat status mode system has been added, allowing players to voluntarily choose PvP and engage in combat at desired times. This is the new PvP flag system. In PvE mode, you are in a safe state where you cannot attack nor be attacked by the opposing faction. If you are in PvP mode, this allows free combat with the opposing faction. However, in PvP mode, you cannot attack opposing faction players who are in PvE mode. You can change your combat status starting from level 45. You cannot change your combat status while in the opposing faction map. So Spacetime Rift, if you go in as PvP flagged, you are staying in PvP mode for the duration of your rift. After changing your status, you have to wait 70 minutes before being able to change it again. Enemy faction players in PvP mode are displayed to you in red. Abyss is always PvP enabled regardless of your status. The only limit in Abyss is your Abyss timer. Weekly Abyss points obtainable from grinding are now capped to 200,000. Weekly Abyss points obtainable from PvP are now capped at 200,000 as well. Total AP obtainable per season is capped at 2.5 million points. The collection amount of feathers in maps has increased from 1 to 4. Characters who already completed the collection will now receive additional adjusted rewards, which are the collected amount times 3. A new Substance Morph special recipe has also been added, allowing you to convert 1 Empyrean Trace into 50 enhanced stones. Substance Morph of Empyrean Traces is limited to 1,680 per server, which I believe would mean 3 characters on that server could collect all 560 feathers, and that will give you the max amount of enhanced stones that you can get. Empyrean Feathers collection sync between alts and your main on the same server will be applied on the 17th of December. All passives that give your characters CC resist or status effect resist, crowd control resist, basically the chance for you to be stunned, slowed, and so on, those have been buffed. For most classes, I think it's called something like Survivor's Willpower. On Assassin, it's called Revitalization Contract, and for Assassin, each level now also gives 1.5% increase to CC resist. Defiance combo skills now have a cooldown reduction of 2 seconds per level of Defiance. Defiance is your CC break skill, every class has this. Usually you're not putting any skill points into Defiance, and for the most part you weren't using the combo skill right away coming out of Defiance because you want that invulnerability duration. So maybe this is them trying to make Defiance leveling at early game more desirable. I'm not sure, but game has been out 2 weeks, so I could be mistaken. As to find out more, of course, I'll update you in future videos. Now moving on to class balance, we have a lot to get through. Templar's Fury passive, which gives you and your party an attack buff for 10 seconds on block, has been increased from 6.5% to 11.5% at base. Their Comrade in Arms Stigma now increases your damage tolerance by 20% for 10 seconds. This damage tolerance effect only applies to you as the Templar. For Chanter, they had several tooltip and bug fixes, and they improved the heal of your 3 by 10%. Your RMB base skill and the chain attack have also improved by 5%, and your 4 skill has also improved by 5%. I don't have my Chanter anymore, so I can't show you the difference or the tooltips, but I should have the guidebook skill icons showing up in the video here as I talk about them, so if you play Chanter, you know which skills I'm talking about. For Ranger, I have not played this at all, so bear with me. According to the notes, your Explosion Trap now has a 10-point groggy effect, and for your Trap of Bondage skill, it now has a 20-point groggy effect. They also have several bug fixes, and they fixed an issue where the physical resistance value did not increase when the resolution of resistance skill was increased to level 2. For Sorcerer, your elemental strengthening skill is now a mobility skill, which means you can move while casting, and the rest of the changes were just tooltip and naming cleanup for several skills. For Cleric, your LMB skill casting animation was reduced. Your cooldown of the Radiant Recovery skill on your 3 was reduced by 1 second. This is your most powerful heal and cleanse in the kit, barring Stigmas. Very good skill and nice to see it available slightly faster. Definitely needed when your group decides to not evade boss AoE. It's a good change. The rest for Cleric were tooltip and naming cleanup for several skills. Now for Elementalist, your LMB skill and the last skill in that chain both now have faster animations. For your Fire and Water Spirits, when they basic attack, a skill activation effect is added with a 15% chance, and an element acquisition effect is added when the skill is activated. The skill activation probability of the third special effect has been changed to 25%. For your Earth and Wind Spirits, they have the same effect, but at a 10% chance, and then a 20% chance for the third special effect. For Spatial Dominance, the skill usage condition has been changed to when acquiring an element. Your Ancient Spirit Stigma now improves elemental stat gain, and the skill procs on basic attacks 7 hits normally or 5 hits with the specialization. Your Collaboration Curse skill and its 5th specialization effect has been changed to damage inflicted on spirits while cursed is reduced by 20%. Your Corrosion passive damage method has been changed from 10% chance of continuous damage to 50% chance of instant damage. The basic attack speed of your Summoned Spirits has also been increased by 50%. For Assassin, they fixed the issue where Whirlwind Slice was not being applied when you had high combat speed, which as an Assassin, you want to stack as much of as possible, so that's a good fix. Your Shadow Walk Stigma was not resetting the cooldown if you died, so that's been fixed as well. For other changes, Spacetime Rifts will now spawn every 3 hours instead of every 4 hours. Rift capacity was also increased from 200 to 400 players. For Abyss changes, Field Boss and Dimension Core bosses stats increased. Artifact now provides teleport after results. An Abyss rank buff was added for lower ranks that allow you to gain more AP, starting at a 30% buff for trainee ranks. Outposts and sealed dungeons will no longer have monster drops and instead now reward you with 15,000 Kina once you clear. That is, I think, okay overall, though as you were leveling, it was nice to get some crafting materials from those monsters once in a while. At level 45, though, if you're doing your sealed dungeons, you are usually just speedrunning them and avoiding monsters anyway, so an overall good change, I would say. Daily dungeon wave time limit was reduced from 2 minutes to 1 minute and 30 seconds. Your score per monster was also increased. This should help speed up running your daily dungeons every week. For character names, deleted names will now be available to be used again after 7 days. Name change tickets can now be stored in the storage. You now have name confirmation when you make your character. Before, it would just do a name check to see if that name was taken, and if it wasn't, it would start you right away. Now it will prompt you with a confirmation window, which helps when you're looking to see which names are taken and which ones are available. The monster levels in quest dungeons, excluding the Celestial Coastal Cave, the Demon Shady Cave, and the Mysterious Rock Cave, have all been lowered. They added the ability to turn the world map transition animation on or off. The description of the Vitality Risk alert item has been corrected. The description of the auto-run action in the common settings of the operation mode has also been revised. In order to prevent abuse, a standard score has been added to the Shugo Events, and if it is not met, the lowest rank will be determined. In the Shugo Odd Drop Collection event, the reappearance of odd drops has been made slightly faster. In the Shugo Hidden Loogie event, Shugo participants start with 70 points, and the entry time for the Dimensional Invasion event has been adjusted to 3 minutes. Login and attendance rewards have been extended by 2 weeks, and the rest are a slew of bug fixes and minor improvements to the chat UI and other miscellaneous systems. And that's all for the updates this week. Let me know what you think about the class balance changes in the comments. Right now, I would say Gladiator is one of the best classes in the game, so it's going to be interesting to see if they get any changes. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.